Life is priceless. And,
It is.
you have to get in there and get the job done. Just like Guzman. I mean, who thought that someone 30 feet below could be sniffed out by a dog?
Welcome to the Let's Talk Shit podcast. I am your host, Lisa Garrett. I am a wife, mom of 4 boys, 2 German Shepherds, and I'm a gut and psychology practitioner. Look, I know you've done all the things with diet and exercise, and I also know that your health means the world to you. I'm going to show you how your gut health is the game changer to your weight, your confidence, and your stamina. So if you're ready to become the shit in your life, then let's jump in. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Shit. I am so excited because I'm here with Becky Switzer. You guys are going to love this. You're going to love the mission. You're going to love her stories. You're going to love her vibe. Oh my gosh. If you love seeing dogs as heroes and helping humans, you're going to love this. So Becky is the co-founder of Ground Zero Emergency Training Center, a nonprofit based in Oklahoma, dedicated to strengthening emergency response across the country. Alongside of her husband, Barry, Becky helped launch Ground Zero in 2017 to address a critical shortage of highly trained search and rescue canines. Ground Zero provides first responders with elite canines, specialized training, and access to world-class facility designed to prepare teams for real-life disaster situations. Becky is very passionate about supporting those on the front lines and ensuring that they have the tools, training, and resources needed to save lives. Through her leadership and vision, Ground Zero continues to make a powerful impact in communities by bridging the gap between emergency need and preparedness, one highly trained canine team at a time. So, without further ado, here's Becky.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Okay.
I'll be everywhere.
Yes, I'm going to start with a question that's probably everybody's like, what? Because Becky's married to Barry Switzer. You might know Barry from college football and NFL. He was the rival to Nebraska back in I think the 70s.
70s, early 80s.
Yeah. Okay, Becky, so what inspired you and Barry to start Ground Zero? And what was the moment you realized that this was something that needed to exist?
Well, we had a bombing here, as everyone knows, in 1995, the Murrah building bombing, which was horrible. And my brother and his wife worked triage during that time. And he called me and said, "You have to see these dogs." So FEMA task forces had come in here from all over the country, and some had canines, some didn't. And so I love animals and always have. And so I went down. It's a crime scene, so I couldn't get in. But I watched the dogs from afar and heard his stories about how they would go in and search for people. And if they couldn't find them, they would have to trick them so that they could settle down because the dogs just want to work and work and work. So that started the quote dream. But as everyone knows, dreams are one thing and action toward those dreams are another. So 1999, I got a German Shepherd, but what I say is it did not come preloaded. Anyway, it turned out it was a pet, and which was fine. She was lovely. So in 1999, we had an F5 tornado come through Oklahoma that, tore the city of Moore to pieces. We had a lot of damage, 58, not fatalities, but major injuries. It was incredible. And I thought, gosh, if we had those dogs, we might have been able to get in there. But still, time passes on. In 2013, I'm ashamed sort of to say, we had another F5 that took the lives of 7 children in Moore, Oklahoma, at a school. And I said, this has to. God is telling you, you need to do this. Which is kind of corny, but I really felt that. And I told Barry, I said, we need to do this. So we went out to California to the Search Dog Foundation and saw what they were doing, how they were doing it. And we decided we have to do that in Oklahoma. Tornadoes in this area, Nebraska, wherever in the Midwest, can do some major damage, floods, all of it. So we started, and it's not easy, but we had to find trainers. There's a lack of trainers for this specific training. There's a lack of handlers. There's a lack of dogs. So, we've just slowly crept into this, and we've placed around 45 dogs. They're very expensive to train. They average really from 30 to 50,000, depending on when and how long it takes to train them. We used to find them in shelters, but you don't know a dog's history. We had a great dog, Storm, out of a shelter, and he was about to be assigned, and we ran a problem with him, and he tried to attack one of the gentlemen that had a black hat on, who had a history of something that happened in his life, so we had to wash him out. So we spent an enormous amount of time training him, but he had a problem we didn't know. So shelter dogs have histories, and you have to be careful. There are some great ones, really great ones, but you just never know. So then we started breeding, and you would get maybe 3 out of 8 or whatever. So that, again, was a cost driver. And so we started purchasing as well as breeding. And that's a little bit where we are today. We're purchasing from reputable breeders, and they can be great dogs and just wash out. So it's constantly, hoping that you get the one that will work, because the work is so hard. I mean, our dogs they can't be average dogs. They can't be great dogs. They have to be excellent dogs, because life depends on it.
Yeah. Can you give me like a situation, like walk somebody through who's listening of when you go to a site where there's been a natural disaster or something, what that looks like? Can you walk us through what that looks like?
Well, I can't really say that I can give you the picture. The task forces are the ones that deploy, and they're set up, and they have an incident command. The incident command, then they have sectioned off areas, and then the task force and the handlers and dogs go in. They search, they come back. They have to be washed down. Who knows? They're contaminated, so they have to decontaminate them. The vet sees them, they rest, and then they go back in. Like I said, in the bombing, the dogs do not want to quit working. They'll work till they die. And so you have to pull them off, and you have to make them rest. And the same with the handlers. The dog and the handler are both very elite dog, elite person for the commitment.
It's almost like they're matched with the same mindset, the dog and the handler, right? Because they're relentless.
It is so funny. The handlers come to campus, and we'll have a lot of dogs. And I always tell this story because it's really one of my favorites. We had a, quote, handler come down, but he told us, I don't want a dog. I just want to learn. Okay, that's fine. So he came down, and this dog, Mac, just attached to him, like instantly. And so, we said, this dog really likes you. You work well together. You need to take it home. You need to, work with this dog. No, my wife doesn't want me to have a dog. Well, you need to divorce your wife. And so anyway, he took Mac home, and she loved him, and they've been a great handler and dog couple ever since. So.
And they're still together?
Yeah, the dogs can, or usually do, bond with who they're supposed to bond with. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I've always felt that the dogs choose you. I feel like their energy brings you to them, like it's divine.
I think it is too.
That's amazing. Was this a German Shepherd?
No, this was a Labrador.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. We usually we use Malinois and Labradors, and German Shepherds are my favorite. But I know a lot of you are German Shepherd fans. There are German Shepherds that will do the work, but German Shepherds are more methodical. And so I always say they like to go around the pile, the devastation, not really go in it. But we do have Shepherds in training. But yeah, they're not as quick. Again, nothing against them. They're My favorite dog in the world is a German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And I love all dogs, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Labs and the Malinois are very high drive.
Yeah.
They're relentless in their efforts. And again, shepherds like to think about it. And that's okay.
Which, I have a German Shepherd, but he is cautious. Yeah, you're right. Totally. I see that. But he also is relentless with working. I mean, he thinks he's working by finding things in the backyard. Okay. But I mean, I think he probably would have made a great search and rescue dog because he loves to work. He loves to work.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for those dogs with really high drive,
Mhm.
high intelligence. Elite dogs are just one in 1,000, really.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
So the country really. Well, let me back up. In 2000, at 9/11, we had a lot of handlers and dogs. Not a lot, but enough. And those people are retiring. Those dogs are gone.
Yeah.
And so we need to constantly replace the pipeline. And that is hard. I mean, the dogs have about, they say, 9 years, well, 6 to 8, or it depends on injuries, health, all of it. We
Mhm.
have some dogs that go to 11 years, but yeah, they have to be replenished, and keeping up with that is quite something. For handlers, it takes, most of them are volunteer. Well, they don't get paid, and you have to train, you have to train, you have to train, because you have to know how to read your dog. If you
Mhm.
don't know, you could miss a life. And so just a head swing and you don't see it could cost somebody their life. So it's
Wow.
pretty intense.
Yeah. So to that, you already talked about like, and maybe you can talk more to this, like what makes a search and rescue dog elite and what kind of training and traits are required?
Well, there's so many, and that's why it's so hard. First, the drive, and then possession. They have to be willing to, I always say the thing I look for, will they bark when they find? And then will they stay with whatever they have found? A lot of our dogs will bark and then they want to go on to the next thing. They
Oh.
stay with the quote victim. And because the handler may be way behind, they have to be really courageous because what they're going through. We had dogs in Turkey in the earthquakes, and they could go where no man could. And it's scary because there may be a collapse. You might lose your dog. So it's interesting. Their scent ability, that the ability to detect odor is still a mystery to me. I don't know how they differentiate. We'll have 45 people, we'll hide a person, and they know who's missing. And
Wow.
it's just mystery to me. And they say, oh, the dogs, it's like a cake. They know every ingredient in every cake.
Oh, that's a good visual.
Yeah. And they also have to be able to problem solve. When they're out there, their handler isn't with them telling them, okay, go here, go there. They have to be able to problem solve. I can't get in here, so I've got to go around here and try to get in this way. Their physical strength and endurance, incredible. Now we have, of course, a training program for that. They train whatever they're going to do, but they have physical education as well because their cores need to be very tight for what they're doing. So they're on treadmills, they're on balance balls, they're doing everything so that they're protecting themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense. Total sense.
And then, as we talked, they have to have this strong handler bond. And that is, to me, very critical. If the dog isn't, the dog is working for a toy usually, but they're also working for praise, and that comes from the handler.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know that with my own dogs.
Yeah, and then of course they have to be certified, and that's we have two processes. FSA, which would be your agility, basically the dog can do the work. And then the certification, the national certification, is very difficult. And it's equally a test of the dog and the handler. The dog has to search, handler can't say anything. They have so much time to find the victims. And if they leave, they wash out. So Yeah, it's very intense. I always say, go run a mile before you test your dog so you'll calm down yourself.
Oh, wow.
Real nervous, just like us taking a test.
Yeah, yeah,
A test, you're a little,
yeah. Anxious.
no, you have to be able to trust your dog. Trust your
And your dog can't pick up that anxiety from you prior to a test. They can't. Otherwise, it'll throw them off, correct?
right down the leash.
It does. It does. Um, okay, so we talked about training a little bit. I want to know, let's see, can you share a story where one of your trained dogs or teams made a life-saving difference?
Well, I kind of thought about that, and our dogs, I have to say, have not done that yet. They go out and search, and unfortunately, our dogs have found more deceased.
Mm.
But having said that, that's not bad. That
No.
gives family a closure.
Mhm.
We have will be called out on potential suicides,
Oh.
or well, we had a gentleman that was well, he shot an officer and then he escaped, and they looked for him for like 5 or 6 days, and they couldn't find him. And the resources, the money they were spending in looking, tremendous amount. They finally called us, our dog in. He found him in 21 minutes. And so
Wow.
he had shot himself,
Mhm.
but the resources, the financial side of that, I wouldn't say it was a waste, but we could have gotten in there sooner and helped out. And then they talk about drones, and drones are great. Drones can, they're heat seeking, but they don't have the nose. And so the dog can get there a lot quicker. So, I wish I had a positive story about finding someone. My best story is I was privileged to meet the woman that was the last surviving victim at 9/11.
Oh.
Who was coming down the stairwell, and Giselle Guzman, she was coming down the stairwell, her shoe came off, so she reached down to get her shoe, and the building collapsed. She went into a crevice, was there 24 or 27 hours, 30 feet below, and she had made her peace with God, and she heard sniffing,
Oh,
and the dog located her.
oh my God.
Her story is amazing. We don't have time for it here, but who said that she was talking to a person named Paul, and Paul said, just stay calm, you're going to be all right. Well, anyway, after they pulled her out, there was no Paul. So,
Oh, we don't know how that goes.
and others say otherwise, but it's a fascinating.
Oh, I have chill. That is fascinating.
She's amazing to talk to. She said, "Oh, when I got out, I thought I was just going to go home." No idea, but her story, the dog, it was the whole thing. The dog wasn't supposed to be there, and he was from Toronto, and the man drove him down. He wasn't even, one of our people, and he went in and found this woman, the last survivor.
Oh my gosh. Now, did she have a relationship with that dog afterwards? Did they stay in touch,
Not really. She went on with her life.
Oh my gosh, that's miraculous.
Yeah, that's the story about what we do and why we do it. The dogs can find.
See, this is where AI can never replace a nose, especially a nose of a dog. And the photographic memory of a dog is, oh my gosh.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. It is incredible. Wow. Okay. What are first responders facing today that most people don't see or understand?
Wow.
I know that's a deep one.
The time spent away from family, whether it's training or when they're deployed, until I started working in this, I did not realize the emotional stress families are under when firemen or task force members are deployed, whether it's to a local fire or to a major disaster, whatever, you don't know if they're coming home. You don't know when they're coming home. And so the first time we deployed dogs to a tornado, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. I'm so nervous for them. I don't want dogs hurt. I don't want the people hurt, because you have to go into really crazy situations. Kerrville last year, horrible, horrible situation. And what they have to face when they find things, all of it. It's very hard on them. They won't. What I find about first responders is they're the coolest people, but they don't like to talk about things. You think, okay, well, maybe we should have a therapist, help you walk through this. They don't want to do that. They want to share with each other. It's very private. But those resources are available if they need them. So, but yeah, it's just, leaving their families. I have one that's a fireman. His wife is a policeman. And I'm like, oh, the stress of that would kill me as a child,
It would, but I feel like first responders, I feel like that's a calling. They know in their heart of hearts that's their job here. That's their earthly job. I feel like that's a calling, because not everybody is set out to be a first responder.
No, the classes they go through, that's one thing the general public doesn't know, how educated they are in every aspect of this, down to how do you tie this type of rope to pull this person out of this? How do you shore up a unstable situation? I mean, it just goes on and on. The medical side, they are brilliant. And I don't think they get as much accolades as they should.
I agree totally. And there's the humanistic side of it where they know all the A, B, C, D, but they still are calm. And there's a humanistic side to I've got you because they see people on their worst day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So it's like the marriage of all of the tasks, but the heart, and that's a very unique combination in a person I'd be freaking out or crying. I don't know what I would be doing.
No, they know their process, and I think after the fact, and I don't know this because I'm not a task force member, you have to go through some processing after seeing what they have to see or money. But yeah, cool under fire is how you would say.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. I love that. So the work is incredibly rewarding, but heavy, because you don't always, I think finding someone's loved one deceased is closure. I think it would be the worst not to ever find them. But how do you personally handle the emotional side of it? Because you're the leader, one of the leaders.
I'm very proud when our task forces go out and when they find victims or those who have passed, because you are bringing closure to a family. And, the Kerrville situation. One of the responders told me, he said, the hardest part was the dog would alert, and the media and the families, if they were close, would hover in. And that was so hard because we weren't sure what we were going to find or how we were going to find it. And I was like, why were they even close?
Yeah.
It wasn't all of them, but it was in some instances.
Now, was that the school that got hit?
No, that was in Texas last year, and then I can't.
Oh, okay, right. That's okay. Yeah, yeah. Ooh.
Real tough one for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of teams down there. Some of the teams, what we discovered is it was hard work, and maybe the dogs had aged out, really.
Oh,
we need to constantly replenish, and none of us, I don't care how many people are trying, will never keep up with the need. One of the things I worried about during the LA fires. We had, and the Maui fires. We had a lot of HR, human remain dogs out there searching. And I'm like, what if we have another incident on the East Coast? All of our dogs are out here. How are we going to do? You know, it's just a question I have. And still, so we just don't have enough handlers and dogs. You know, we have 28 task forces or 28 FEMA task forces in this country. And I think we had, gosh, how many? Almost everyone was involved in the North Carolina, you know, Florida, you know, and you're like, gosh, I hope nothing else happens because.
Well, that's a great point, because while you're taking care of these other areas, there could be a natural disaster or something on the other side of the country, and then what?
We have state task forces, so they would be deployed, but, you know, it's just interesting. You know, I hope we can answer the call when the call's made, and we know it's going to happen. It's the point. It's not when. It's not, you know, when. It's not if. It's when.
Correct.
You have to be on the ready all the time. You can't prepare a dog right after a disaster happens. It has to be ready to go immediately.
What's the like for the dog who has been working and you have to pull them, what's the rest time like for that dog? Do you have to pull them completely off the site? Like, how do you calm down that dog so that dog can rest and then go back out?
Well, again, if the dog hasn't found anything, they just want to work. So you have to set up something where they find something so they feel like, okay, I've done my job.
Yeah.
Go and rest. And the vets, and you know, they're usually pretty tired, but they want to win. The dogs want to win. They want to.
Yeah, that's really neat. I mean, I think to the average person, me being the average person, like I see on TV like dogs are deployed or you see dogs looking through rubble, and it never even occurred to me that there's a shortage of those dogs. It never, and that just makes total sense. Or when some dogs get fatigued, you've got to rotate other dogs in. Like, it just is a constant recycle.
And they're very good about that. You know, ex people are going to go deploy with their dogs, and then when their time is up, they come back in. The other teams rotate in. So if a dog finds something, it takes a second dog to come in and verify before they start really digging or, you know, sending cameras down or whatever. So it's tedious work for sure. Um, I can't tell you the talent it takes, and I sit back and just watch and go, I can't believe a dog can do this.
Right.
We've set up scenarios that they shouldn't be able to find, and they do.
Can you think of one that right off the top of your head?
Well, just at our training, at our facility, we'll hide things, you know, way down in the rubble, and they can sniff it out. And, you know, a dog can sniff. This was amazing to me. The water dogs that can sniff like 20 feet below. You know, you have a drowning victim. If you have a water dog that can do that work, they can usually locate the area where the person might be.
Wow, 20 feet down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, because
Wow.
I can't get technical. Somebody will say I'm wrong, but the body oils, I think, you know, right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Makes sense.
yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Gosh, I never thought of that at all. That's incredible.
I haven't found something they can't do, you know. I mean, but again, it's the very elite of the elite. And there's very, very few of those. And then a lot of trainers train this way, another trainer trains this way, but they all have to pass that, you know, centralized certification so that when we deploy, we know what we're doing.
So these elite dogs that live with their handlers, they're not the dogs that are out walking the neighborhood in the morning. Typically, probably not.
Probably not. I mean, they could walk the neighborhood, but the dogs go to work with the handlers and they live with the family. I'm sure the family becomes very close. Our dogs, when the dog retires, the handler, of course, has first right of refusal if they are not capable of keeping that dog. Maybe they want to get a new dog, whatever. So we'll take it back, but they have first right of refusal. They are this sounds weird, but they're probably as close to that dog as they are to any member of their family because they actually with them 24/7.
Yeah. How can you not be? It's another heartbeat. It's another breathing, living being.
All of us that have dogs feel that
Oh, yeah.
we're just with our dogs. So
Bonded.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Oh, this is just such great stuff. Um, okay. So you have an event coming up. Let's talk about that event because there might be people listening in the area that would want to donate, attend something. So let's talk about your event coming up.
Well, that's very kind of you. We do an event annually called Dinner on the 50. And as you mentioned, Barry was a former football coach, Dallas Cowboys, and then at the University of Oklahoma. So, and we live on campus. And I was like, let's have a dinner on the field. And let's bring the dogs, let them show their agility skills, sort of a show and tell. And we have some great NFL former college players there or broadcasters. And we just talk about sports, how elite athletes and elite dogs are very similar.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So we have a great time. Everybody watches the dogs work, and then we have a 5-star dinner on the field, and it is lovely. I mean, it's one of the best events in Oklahoma. And so we have dancing, of course, afterwards, but we have an auction, and our auction items will be online fairly soon. And that's how we raise money to be able to afford these dogs. Our budget for new dogs next year is about $125,000, and that's just for a few dogs.
Wow.
If we make it or not, I don't know. That's you roll the dice. You look at these young pups and you hope they have it, but like I said, they can all of a sudden say, "You know what? I don't want to do this work." And they're
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Some dogs just aren't, just like some people aren't cut out for it.
yeah, they just burn out or whatever. So
So when is your event?
it is June 27th at the University of Oklahoma football field.
Okay.
It is, we're online, groundzerosaveslives.com, and you can find out more about the event there. But it is a great time. I look forward to it. It's quite something to put together, but it is very unique.
So if someone can't come to your event, how else can they support your organization?
Again, they could go to groundzerosaveslives.com,
Okay.
and that's our website, and they could make some donations there, and very appreciative. And if they want to contact me, they can write me at Becky at groundzerosaveslives.com. And if they have questions or anything, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Well, and you know what? It's um I've received some memorials that people have made to no-kill shelters in my dog Leo's name, which is lovely. And this is an area where, if you know someone who's lost a dog, just making a donation here in that dog's name is a great way to pay it forward for the legacy that you're creating and the need that is there in our country. I mean, we need it terribly.
You never know how bad you need it until you need it.
Oh,
We just had a tornado last week
yes.
in Oklahoma, and it just wiped out a neighborhood. And you're like, oh, there have to be casualties there. No casualties. It was, we found a dog. I didn't. We found a dog that had been in rubble for 44 hours and survived. And it's just incredible. So, yeah.
Did another dog find it?
No, another dog didn't find it. The first responder was digging through and heard it, but the dogs on site, this is a great one. Moore, Oklahoma, the 2013 tornado. In 99, it took around 2 weeks to clear and make sure we had everybody in. We had 5 dogs in 2013, and it took 12 hours. 2 weeks to 12 hours.
Wow.
They are a force multiplier. A dog can cover a ground. There's nothing here, move on. There's nothing here, move on. So that in itself, you have what, 24 to 72 hours really to find people.
Yeah.
So the sooner the better.
Yeah. And think about the money that is saving, the money it saves. I mean, you might pay up front to train a dog, but oh my gosh, the money it saves on the back end of the hours that you're spending.
And life is priceless. And,
It is.
you have to get in there and get the job done. Just like Guzman. I mean, who thought that someone 30 feet below could be sniffed out by a dog?
30 feet.
She was she told me everything but her left hand was, just stuck.
Oh,
We would move her hand and that was about it.
oh my gosh. And she's still alive.
Yes. Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. Oh my gosh, I just love this conversation. I feel like I could talk to you all day. I want to come to your house and hang out with you and Barry and your dogs.
Fine. Well, we'd be happy to have you.
Um, what what do you hope the future holds for Ground Zero and emergency response as a whole?
Well, we hope that after we leave this planet and go wherever, that the legacy will continue. And it is the legacy we want to leave to our state and to, it's kind of big to say to your nation, but we could leave other things, but this helps everybody.
Yes.
Not a demographic it won't touch. So
Mhm.
this is what we wanted. And so we hope it continues to grow. I think it will be in very good hands with, people. And that the facility expands and that we create more dogs that are available to task forces.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't afford these dogs. That's the bottom line. There's not a budget that would work that I know of any task force, state or federal, that can really fund this. So it's up to us. And it's something that touches all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if, I mean, I'm in Nebraska, you're in Oklahoma, we are in Tornado Alley, so to speak. 'Tis the season. And it's just, I mean, I've been in tornadoes where you just pray the top of your house is there. I can't imagine what it's like to dig out and see your house flattened. I can't even imagine. And that just happened 2 years ago, 4 miles from me. We had terrible F4 tornado. I think it was April 26th, 2024. That just wiped out a whole area.
Well, it's so interesting. At our facility, one of the first things I wanted, we are in what they call the F5 corridor. So
Oh.
the first thing was get a shelter that we can put the dogs in. Because we have to, if storms come, I'm constantly on the phone with our staff. Are the dogs in the shelter? Are you ready? Because once it comes, you don't have, the fastest time I think that they have removed the dogs from their kennels and put them in the shelter kennels is 14 minutes.
Ooh.
I mean, they practice.
Yeah.
So now we have this new thing. This is so funny. They feed them in the shelter. So the dogs go, yeah, we're going to get food. Let's
Scram.
I was like, that was brilliant. Whoever came up with that one. So
That is good. That makes sense though, because you're going to need them as soon as this storm blows over. You're going to need them. Maybe. So, oh my gosh, what a great conversation. So if people want to look you up on Facebook, is your Facebook group called Ground Zero?
no, Ground Zero.
Okay, that's what I thought. And you have a great tagline on there. Is it?
Remind me, I have a lot of.
I think it's called Humans Saving Dogs so Dogs Can Save Humans.
Yeah. Oh gosh, now you're going to trip me up.
I'm sorry, I think I confused you. But
no, it's some people save dogs. Our dogs save people.
yes. Oh, I just love that. I got chills again. I just love that. It just sounds so fierce and humane. It's just incredible.
My other tag is "Don't tell me no, tell me how."
Oh,
that one quite a bit.
I love that. I love that. Well, Becky, I am so honored to meet you and talk with you and learn about Ground Zero. I'm going to put your information in the show notes. This episode is probably going to air in 3 weeks. I'll send you information on it. In the meantime, if you want information on Ground Zero, it'll be in the show notes, or you can go to Ground Zero on Facebook, and the website is again
Ground Zero Saves Lives.
perfect. Okay, Becky, thank you so much. I'm going to end this and then we can chat afterwards.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Hey, before you go, would you like to receive my ultimate gut repair guide for free? This guide has everything you need to know about leaky gut, what's causing it, how it's affecting your daily life, a meal plan, and 5 ways you can start healing your gut today. This is the same framework that my VIP clients use when they start healing their gut. It's amazing. All you have to do is leave an honest review of Let's Talk Shit, screenshot it, share it to your Instagram stories, and tag me at Lisa Garrett Nutrition. I hope today's episode inspired you to make some shit happen in your life because you're freaking awesome. And I cannot wait to connect with you next time on Let's Talk Shit.